الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين We acknowledge Allah as the Lord of all the systems of knowledge. We acknowledge Allah as the creator of all that exists. We acknowledge that Allah is separate from the creation. We acknowledge the blessings and we feel gratitude for what He has done for us through sending us the guidance through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the revelation of the Quran. And we thank Allah for protecting the Quran so that we can have guidance until the day of judgment. We ask that Allah shower down His blessings upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, the companions, all the way until the day of judgment. I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Brothers and sisters, you know this is a trying time that we're living in, and the topic for this afternoon is Allah is the first cause. Allah is the first cause. And you can't do justice to that topic in 20 to 30 minutes. So we may speak on that topic for a while, inshallah. We'll see. There are some current events that I need to mention to you. I hope that you listen carefully and take heed. Because there's definitely a need for that, to prepare. Once you see the signs, we go and prepare. We don't just say, I trust Allah. Yes, we all trust Allah. But we follow up with, tie your camel. Okay? You tie your camel. We trust Allah, however, we look at the signs of the times and we prepare. You see. In the Quran, Surah 9, the repentance, Tawbah, it states in verse 60, it says, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ الْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمُسَاكِينِ والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فرقدمت من الله Wallahu alimun hakim. That is to say, in the English, the offerings given for the sake of Allah are meant only for the poor and the needy and those who are in charge thereof and those whose hearts are to be won over, and for the freeing of human beings from bondage, and for those who are overburdened with debts, and for every struggle in God's cause, and for the wayfarer. This is an ordinance from Allah, and Allah is all-knowing, wise. I know it may not sound like it, but I just gave you the 8 categories for zakat. The first cause, Allah being the first cause. You know, if the human being is conscious of the first cause, then they would take heed. These 8 categories, they circumscribe all the purposes for which zakat may be expended. By those whose hearts are to be won over, that's dawah. when you're out working with the public, working with the people, someone is going to be interested. On the college campuses, they're interested. They're taking Shahada. They're hiring Muslim chaplains. In the military, they're interested. They're taking Shahada. They need to be educated about what the Quran says that they can do. Yes. And on the streets where we are, people are taking Shahada. People are interested. Some, they come to stay. And some, it's just a visit. You see? Now, when we say overburdened with debts, and for every struggle in God's cause, and for the wayfarer, someone shows up at our steps and they need help, we're obligated to help that person. Yes, we have a limit on what we can expend, but we're obligated to help that person or to show him where he or she can go for assistance. So when we say, and for the freeing of human beings from bondage. Now you may think, oh, that's not good. Those people in prison should stay in prison because that's a form of bondage. Yes, that's a form of bondage. And the burden of debt, that's a form of bondage. Now, what is it with the system? The system is when you go before a judge, well, this is already proven true. This is a fact. When you go before a judge, if you're not of the right, say, persuasion or even your skin color, you may get more time than someone else who may go before the judge for the same charge. You may get 20 years and they may get 2 years. Or they may get slapped on the hand and get to go home to their family. You see? So there's justice in the system. There's justice in, when I say the system, when I use the system, that means Allah's system. When there's justice when you help someone who has been locked up, sometimes for no reason, sometimes for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's people every year, sometimes it makes the newspapers, sometimes it doesn't make the newspaper. He done 35 years for nothing. They use the DNA to say this man can't be guilty of that crime. He don't have the same DNA. They finding them all the time. What are you going to do? You took his life. What are you going to do? You're going to pay him some money? What are you going to do? Some states pay a little money. Some states don't. Okay? So that's a bond. Only Allah can repay that. Other than that, there's no remuneration. Making America work for us must be the focus and the work of every Muslim. Making America work for us. Making America work for every non-Muslim. America should work for everyone. Allah is the first cause. It is too big of a topic. We have to be careful what we say in the Khutbah. There are 3,000 chaplains in the military. 3,000. 20 of them are Muslims. Many of them are afraid for their lives. Okay? Why? Because in this war that we have in Palestine, I prefer to call it Palestine because that's what it is. This war in Palestine is causing people to go to the streets and harm each other. It's causing people to hurt the Jewish contingent. It's causing people to hurt the Muslims. This war. We have to be socially conscious. We can't live here and just ignore it. We can't do that. So we have to make America work for us. How do you do that? The first help is Allah. That's the first help. Then tying your camel. Go out and do some things. Do what you can do. If there's hate group activity and you know it's going on, if you see it, you should let someone know. and record who you told it to and the date that you told it to them. Whether you talk to a police officer or whether you talk to whoever, FBI, whoever you want to call. If you see hate going on and you know it's a hate situation, you should let someone else know. Threats to democracy and voting rights, gerrymandering districts, reductions in polling places, voter roll purges, and so forth. They got people voting that's out there in the graveyard dead. They done took their names and put them on the voter scrolls. That's cheating. It's going on. Changing the districts. They know it's so many people live over here and they're European. They know it's so many people live in this district and they're African American or whoever. And they change the voting lines to give the advantage to whoever they want to give it to. We have to be conscious of that. If you don't send but $5 to an organization that's against that, that's better than just sitting at home doing nothing. Censorship and attacks on inclusive public education. If I'm telling the truth in my school, leave me alone. Okay? Don't try to make people not learn the truth. If the truth makes somebody look bad, so what? We know the truth. If it makes you look bad, then stop doing what you've been doing. In the state of Florida, my home state, they're having to teach history in the churches now because they can't teach the truth on the campus of the public education. They can't teach about slavery. They can't talk about slavery. They can't tell the truth. You got kids going to graduate that had never heard about slavery in the United States. That's sad. That's going on. Censorship and attacks on inclusive public education. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody. You cannot point to a group that has not contributed to the advancement of civilization. Everybody has something to offer. To take their information and not acknowledge where it came from is a crime. Okay? Everybody's made a contribution. Even the pygmy. Those who we don't think much of, they made a contribution. And they should be acknowledged for their contribution. Human and civil rights. Visitation within incarceration and detention centers, including juvenile detention facilities and immigrant detention centers. Those places are being impacted. People are being cheated of their life. Policies that hamstring economic justice and keep poor residents poor. We need to bring to the attention what we think is missing in most minds and hearts and is absolutely needed for us to make progress. Study our history and our leaders who made progress. We are more backward and confusing than before they started. Some groups have gone backwards. They don't know anything. It's sad. They make sure they have children to succeed them. This is what successful people do. Among the poor are some devoted patriots to the very traditions that this country is established upon. Sometimes they lose children and die with dignity, happy to share it with anybody who will listen. If we don't know the truth, if we let government keep us away from the truth, that's the first step to our deaths. When I say death, I'm not just talking about your personal physical death. I'm talking about the death of a whole people, a group. Allah says in the Quran, say, behold, my sustainer grants abundant sustenance, or gives it in scant measure unto whomever he wills of his servants, and whatever it be that you spend on others, he always replaces it, for he is the best of providers. Sadaqallahul Azim. Allah the Magnificent speaks the truth. Now, we're all students. We have to go and learn our religion. If you think you have arrived, you are gravely mistaken. I don't care if they call you Sheikh so-and-so. If you think you have arrived and you know it all, you are gravely mistaken. We're all going to be tried. And those of us who study and who ask for help, they will be the ones who win. There's going to be a documentary coming on PBS. I'm encouraging you to watch it. It's entitled The Three Chaplains. As I said before, there are 3,000 military chaplains. Only 20 of them are Muslims. They just put in the first female Muslim chaplain. Now, those of you who know your religion, and those of you who can think, and I hope that's everybody, she's going to have to lead prayer. She's either going to have to lead prayer for those soldiers when Jumu'ah times comes, or they're going to have to pick a man or a gentleman to lead the prayer. Okay? I want you to think. Did a woman lead prayer during the time of Prophet Muhammad? If you know your religion, yes. If you know your religion. If you're not sure, then you need to go back and study. Okay? Or you can ask your sheikh. If your sheikh is close to you, can give you some time. Okay? We need to study, because we have to be comfortable with decisions that are being made. In certain situations, the woman led prayer during the time of Prophet Muhammad. We have situations now. We have situations. So will the first Muslim American female chaplain lead the men in prayer? I'm going to let that sit right there where it is. Study your religion, because we're going to be tried. We're being tried. As I said, because of the war in Palestine, Muslims in certain positions, their lives are being threatened. Okay? You see, Joe Patriot, quotation, I'm putting that in quotations, all right? Joe Patriot think he's doing the country a service when he go out and kill a Muslim. There are people who walk around that you shopping with. You go shopping with them at Walmart and Sam's Club and Harris Teeter and all these. You standing right next to them in line getting to pay your bill to the cashier, and they'll cut your head off and don't blink twice about it. This is why it's important that we get Islam exposed as intelligently as possible and as soon as possible. I don't want you to expose yourself to a dangerous situation. But if someone wants to know about Islam, you should have a book or a pamphlet or something to give to the person. Okay? Because they may not be sincere. All right? We have pamphlets here. My number is on the pamphlet. You ain't got to worry about your number. Give them a pamphlet. We got pamphlets in the box back there on the table. We got Qur'ans, English Qur'ans. You can take one or two if someone is sincerely interested. You see? Someone cannot be interested and pretend to be interested to find our weak spot to try to hurt us. I'm going to say publicly, I want you to know, this masjid, we're going to trust Allah and we're going to tie our camel. Now you can interpret tie your camel however you want to. Okay? But I'm going to tell you so you don't have to do a whole lot of thinking. Yes, we have deadly force in this masjid. We have deadly force. If somebody come in here and get stupid, it's going to be a war going on. I'm saying this because it's not impossible. Yes, we trust Allah. In the Quran, Surah 36, O thou human being, is one of the interpretations of it. But let them always remember that if we lengthen a human being's days, we also cause him to decline in his powers when he grows old. Will they not then use their reason? Okay? Man should never postpone his exercise of moral choice. If human beings are superior creatures, inasmuch as they have been endowed with the faculty, we're the crown of creation, of discernment and a wide measure of free will, let them also remember that the human being has been created weak and liable to decline still further in old age, so that the time at his disposal is short. The power is in the moment. That's what one writer said. If you want to do something, you need to get started on it. Okay? The power is in the moment. We don't know when we're going to leave here. We have to do all we can for those coming behind us. That's what we have to do. And when we give of our time, of our resources, of our money, of our knowledge, when we give, Quran says, and do not through giving seek thyself to gain, but unto thy sustainer turn in patience. I'm not giving to make you like me. I'm not giving to get your attention. I'm not giving so you feel endeared to me, so you got to do a favor for me later on. I'm not giving to hear you say thank you. This is Quran I'm giving you. So there's no argument. I'm not giving to hear you say thank you or give me attention. And that's not why we give it. We're giving because Allah is the first cause. That's why we're giving. We went on the street last Saturday and we gave. We're going to go out on the street, inshallah, again, and we're going to give. And what happens when we go out on the street? What does that do? See, when someone comes and they get a plate of food from the Muslims and they hear bad talk about the Muslims, then a reasoning person says what? Well, they can't be so bad. They gave me a meal. Right? They can't be so bad. They seem pretty nice people to me. They gave me some literature, and they didn't try to make me become a Muslim like they taught me in history class. The Islam spread by the sword. That's what they're still teaching in the classrooms. It's spread by the sword, right? So we're in the community making contact and being an example for the people to see. Yeah. So it's going to be kind of hard for them to say Islam is bad for America. Okay, you see? So when you got knowledge, what can you say? Well, your third president read the Quran and then he wrote the Constitution. So he must have got some ideas from the Quran. His name was Thomas Jefferson. You see? So that's what I mean when I say we got to know some things. We got to know some things. And we got to put these things out there. You see? I don't want to hold you too long. Got a few minutes. So we don't do this except for the pleasure of God. That's it. The pleasure of God. If you're doing it for some other reason, then we got to get you straightened out. Okay? We got to get you straightened out. So we have to be careful. We want to be careful. And we want to do things right. Al-Islam is going to be tried in ways that we have never imagined. Understand that. And get yourself ready. Get yourself ready physically. Get yourself ready in your innermost heart and your soul. Get yourself ready. Because Allah's going to test you. He's going to test you. And me. He's going to send people. Some will be coming to hurt us, and some will be coming in a sincere posture. All right? So that's where we are. When you look at the documentary, and I hope you'll do that, you can go to YouTube, put in 3 Muslim chaplains, and it should come up. Watch the documentary. So you can have a better idea and an understanding of where we are and where we're headed. We want America. Don't fool yourself. I want you to understand that. My people worked here for free for 400 years. We want America. I want it in an Islamic posture. I know we can't make everybody become Muslims, okay? But we can sure enough make them think. And we can sure enough make them respect us when they learn what we stand for. They say democracy is threatened. That's the cry that you hear now from Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C. See, you never had true democracy in the first place. That's why we got to be educated. You never had true democracy. You're playing tricks with the Electoral College. Straighten it out. Government shutdown. Well, if it's shut down, say Allah not shutting down. If the United States government want to shut down, let them shut down. Because see, I know you ain't going without a paycheck for so long. Right? That's just news talk. Government shutdown. They shut down, they shut down. If you want to get a check, you better straighten it out. Okay? So I pray to Allah that what we have said will stimulate and spark us to do what we should do. If you need to put some more cans, food in your house, you need to go do it. Because if Harris Teeter shut down, Sam's Club shut down, Walmart, if they shut down, you walk in there and those shelves are empty, you need to have a plan of what you're going to do. You need water in your home, get some water in your house. Get them 5-gallon jugs and fill them up. They last about 5 years. You should know that. Say, how long can the water sit in a jug? 5 years. Maybe even more. Okay? We can't trust everything. We trust Allah. That's enough. You trust the government, you need to go do a little more checking and thinking. Okay? Can't trust the government. Government will let you die. Okay? I know some folk thought America was this and that, but government will let you die. You got to be responsible for yourself. That's where you should be. And if you're not there, you should work on getting there. You be responsible for yourself. We want to build a mosque up there on Ricker Street. Okay? We want a basement put in that mosque. Why, Brother Imam? Because if a hurricane comes through, if a flood comes through, whatever, we need to have somewhere to go. Okay? Allah is giving us signs. Isn't He giving us signs? He's giving us signs. Do you know our planet has been the hottest that it has ever been in the last 12 months? The planet Earth has been the hottest that it has ever been. The glaciers are melting, flooding. Do you know that in Great Britain, the people are now having to buy air conditioners? It's hotter than it's ever been. They have never had to use air conditioners in Great Britain. Now they got to go out and buy air conditioners. When Allah is speaking, you need to listen. Okay? That's a sign. And it may not get any better. What's the temperature out there right now? Some people wore coats and some people didn't. Some people had to take off their coat, right? In the 80s, yesterday, didn't it reach the 80s yesterday? In, what is this, November? Times have changed, brothers and sisters. So don't be sitting there, how do you say, they use an expression, caught with your pants down? Don't get caught with your pants down. Prepare yourself. Get some water. You got to have water. Ask yourself, what would I do if Walmart shut down or if the store shut down and I can't buy? What would I do? Get you some candles if the electricity goes off. Be ready, because that can happen. I pray to Allah that this message will benefit the community. On one last note, find out what you can eat that's already growing out there in your yard. There's some things you can eat. Dandelions. Did y'all know that? I know some of you knew that. You can eat dandelions. That's food. You can eat the root. You can eat the leaves. You can eat the whole plant. It's growing right there in your yard. Foraging is what it's called. They call it foraging. Find out what you can eat that's already right there in your yard. Because it may come to that. Be sad for you to die and the dandelion laying right there and you dead. You there laying there dead. You could have ate the dandelions. Be ready. Let's make announcements and then we're going to make our 2 rak'ah. We don't change the time. That's one of the signs of Satan. We don't change the time here at this masjid. We still make Jummah at 1:30. We're not going to go back 1 hour and all that old crazy stuff. We make Jummah at 1:30. I don't care what time of year it is. 1:30. Okay? So Jummah is at 1:30. Each Friday, Jummah, 1:30. Ta'aleem, teachings about Al-Islam, will be on Sunday at 12 noon. We will be here this Sunday, inshallah, at 12 noon for Ta'aleem. And we're going to go deeper into this documentary that PBS has put out. It is helping the Muslims tremendously. We want you to see it because it'll give you some light. Okay? Go and find it. I've given you the information. Okay? We're helping the orphans. We're making monthly donations now. We made a decision to make monthly donations. Okay? Sister Linda Bartow. Fun Time Muslims. Fun Time with the Muslims, right, Sister Linda? Fun Time with the Muslims.
Fun Time Muslims Club.
Okay. The third Thursday, right? At 6 p.m. You can get the link. She'll send you the link. Give her your email and she'll send you the link. You go to the link and it's a virtual discussion globally. Okay? Discussion. Excellent. I've been there several times. It's excellent. Okay? And it helps people to learn about Islam. When they learn about Islam, they're going to tell somebody else. You see? Okay. I already told you we had a successful time with the feeding the community. All right. Today is a good day. We got bean pies for sale today. $2. The bean pie is specifically a Muslim creation. May not be from your culture. Everything is not from everybody's culture. The bean pie is famous. And with Sister Mahassan has already put my order in, okay? She has bean pies today for sale today for $2 each, all right? Estate planning workshop. When? It's going to be Saturday, November 11th. That's tomorrow. Where? Statesville Recreation Department, 1875 Simonton Road. The time will be 1 o'clock to 2 p.m. Please plan to attend. For more information, it's also posted out there, I believe. but 704-880-8086 for more information. Okay? Don't forget your sadaqah and your zakat. Some of us will have to, it's not a demand. I know some of us are from different countries, Africa and other parts of the Middle East. I think you should pay zakat where you live. If your country is in trouble and you want to send some zakat to your country, I think that's a good thing. But you should not neglect where you live. You see? So give some to both. Give some to both locations. All right? All right, that's our announcements. If I'm missing an important announcement, please let me know. All right? Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Our Lord, give us good in this world and give us good in the hereafter and save us from the chastising fire. Ameen. Iqamatis salat.